Like this event is worth all of
I do not.
the hassle.
No.
This year marks 45 years of Rod Run tradition in Sevier County. The footage you see here is from the infancy of the storied car shows that have been a staple ever since. But now, here in 2024, the event sits at a crossroads. New laws, increased interactions with law enforcement, and pressures from local entities have put this event up for discussion. The 1970s in Gatlinburg. This is the Gatlinburg that so many people wish for once again. It was a simpler time. Just look at everyone. Seemingly carefree and happy. Families enjoying time together and taking in the tradition of a car show. As wholesome and as American as apple pie. Able to enjoy their time-honored traditions without the disturbance of these young kids and their big trucks causing
In Gatlinburg, police arrested 50 people. The next night, police used fire hoses on the crowd.
Dude, what? You mean to tell me that 50 years before the Smoky Mountain Truck Fest started, there was this going on in the streets of Gatlinburg? That's just not possible. Look, no, that officer is just showing everybody his dog. They're trying to get a ride, and he's just spraying everybody with the fire hose because it was unseasonably warm for that fall Rod Run. Let's look at that 1970s newspaper clip again. Does that say the year before there were 240 arrests during Rod Run? That's a number that would make present-day Rod Runs blush. And how are you guys just going to start what the officers describe as a riot where the crowd began throwing beer bottles and shouting abuses at police in the middle of Airport Road? I mean, what's really going on? The jacked up truck guys don't arrive for another 50 years. You guys are starting near riots at one of the first Rod Runs. Can you imagine what would happen if one of these two guys started a near riot and then started chucking beer bottles and obscenities at police officers? Oh my. But I digress. This was an isolated event. I don't want to make it seem as if Rod Run has been like this for years, because it hasn't. My parents and grandparents frequented the Rod Runs when I was young, and now we do as well. And in all these decades of attending Rod Run, I've never seen anything even questionable occur in front of me. I just felt it was important to highlight this because in the long, family-oriented history of the Rod Run, it's not without its blemishes, with or without the Truck Fest happening concurrently. While so much discussion is happening around Rod Run, this very unfortunate event occurred.
And one man is dead after an accident on the Parkway in Pigeon Forge. This happened Thursday night around 11:30. We told you the man did die yesterday afternoon. According to police, this death was related to Rod Run. A man was riding along a white line and the sidewalk along the Parkway near Jake Thomas Road intersection. Police say someone in a vehicle opened their door and the man drove into it. Police are still investigating, but of course we will keep you updated.
Such a terrible and avoidable situation. While this particular situation was a freak occurrence, many people have stated the new atmosphere acts as a breeding ground for accidents and criminal behaviors alike. Rod Run critics claim the numbers seem to reflect the event has become something less than family friendly. Some Rod Runners state the truck show crowd is the cause of this increase. But what is the most recent data from the 2024 Fall Rod Run show?
Although there's a lot of good that comes from the Rod Run events, there's a fair share of incidents requiring law enforcement. Between September 12th and September 14th, more than 850 citations were issued and 85 people were arrested. Those citations ranged from spinning tires to numerous other moving violations. Pigeon Forge Police Chief Richard Catlett also told 6 News the police officers had to deal with fights and underage drinking.
You may see this and think, wow, that's a lot of citations and arrests for a weekend. But comparing those numbers against the total number of people in the area for the event, which is estimated to be around 100,000 to 150,000 on most years, fewer than 1% of all Rod Runners were issued a citation during the run. And that's pretty good. How do these numbers compare to the fall of 2023?
Yesterday, Pigeon Forge Police released their stats for the 3-day Rod Run event. From last Thursday through Saturday, they responded to 975 calls. Out of these calls, We're told they gave out close to 250 citations and made 44 arrests.
So let's take a deeper dive into this. 249 citations and 44 arrests in 2023. In 24, almost 4 times as many citations and double the arrest. Looking at the citations first, this increase cannot be explained simply by the presence of truck show attendees. The truck show was also here during the 2023 event that had much lower numbers. If only there was some new law the city was enforcing that could potentially explain the citation disproportion. While the new law may or may not be the cause of the increase in citations and arrests, while we were at the Rod Run, we had some conversation with folks about what they were seeing in terms of enforcement and advertising.
Like the cops been messing with anybody about it? Yeah. You said
They told a couple of them because
Right.
I lied to them.
Ah, okay. They said they were going to try to do like educational stuff this year or for this one,
And they did until they lied to them.
and then they towed them away.
told them off, gave them a ticket.
I think with this we can safely conclude that the enforcement of the advertising law is a contributing factor to the increase, but to quadruple it is probably a stretch. I searched for a breakdown of the written citations to no avail. It's not clear whether such an itemized list will be made available. The new law also shouldn't explain the increase of arrest. An interesting stat from the 2 runs was the decrease in service calls from year to year. An increased police presence, educating the public on the new advertising ordinance may explain this decrease. And speaking of increased police presence,
Catlett says Pigeon Forge spends $35,000 in extra expenses to properly staff the event. That money pays for overtime for officers and hiring officers from other departments.
We have the highway patrols here with us, deputies from Blount County, Sevier County Sheriff's Office, Gatlinburg PD, Sevierville PD, and the National Park Service.
but let's be frank, no one is shedding a tear over $35,000 when the annual Pigeon Forge tourism market nets an absurd $2.6 billion. That's a billion with a B. Now, a common take regarding the financial impact of Rod Run is that without the runs, the town would suffer. Some people even say it would just shut down completely, which is just unfathomable. Last year, the area received 13.3 million visits. Those 13.3 million people spent about $2.6 billion in Pigeon Forge. Roughly 200,000 of those attend the Rod Run each year. That's approximately 1.5% of the annual visitation, and 1.5% of 2.6 billion is 39 million. That sounds like a ton of money. Well, it is a ton of money. The only way it isn't is when you compare it to the $2.6 billion. Then it's more akin to a drop in the bucket. Those numbers aren't airtight. Some Rod Runners make more than one visit per year. So let me cover my bases and let's just go ahead and double the Rod Run revenue just to be safe. A ton of money that local businesses appreciate, but still just 3% of the annual revenue. Not only will that not sink the ship, but it might not even have them taking on water.
When you ride down the parkway, it's easy to see why Pigeon Forge made $2.6 billion from tourism in 2023. Sevier County is buckling up. They expect 100,000 visitors to come to September's Rod Run.
And I've heard this through my years of working here, that if the Rod Runs left, the city of Pigeon Forge would, dry up and blow away, and that's absolutely not the fact. The 2 months we have Rod Runs are not even the 2 biggest revenue producers for the city.
According to revenue numbers from the Pigeon Forge Office of Tourism, April and September don't rank in the top 5 most lucrative months for the city. In 2023, September brought in $100 million less than the top earning month in July.
So again, at this fall's Rod Run, while I was walking around, I talked to some owners, and this was the typical sentiment that I
We
received.
spend a lot of money. It's got to be good for businesses. Would you guys say that the same thing is true for you?
Not for us. Rod runs for us are usually like a really dead time, just because for one, the traffic, nobody can get to the stores, the parking lots get filled up, and nobody's able to get in. Even if they're able to get in the parking lot, they can't park nowhere. So no, for us, it's usually dead. About the only time that it gets like kind of busy for us whenever it comes to Rod runs is like that previous Monday or Tuesday, whenever we have our locals that live here that come in.
So
get what stuff they need.
So would you say that they're probably coming in so they don't have to travel
Yes.
during Rod Run? That's
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
There are some businesses around town that do benefit from Rod Run, though, you would imagine, right?
Yeah, I would say out of all the businesses that are out here, the main ones that are going to benefit from Rod Runs are car washes.
Which is something I never thought of.
Yeah, car washes, grocery stores, and hotels. I mean, that's really all
I
that
noticed you didn't say restaurants. It's ironic that you didn't mention that, because I've talked to a lot of other business owners that will say things like, they'll almost call them like the picnic bunch, because they bring coolers full of food and stuff like that, and they don't end up eating in restaurants as much.
Exactly.
But WBIR also spoke with some owners that felt differently.
The owner of Gino's Pizza on the Strip says,
I do realize there's some issues, and I know that comes with the territory.
He says it's a net positive.
Anytime there's people coming to town, I'm excited.
One of those people is shop manager of Smoky Mountain Rods and Customs, Jordan Butler.
It would affect us negatively for it to be stopped. We sell a lot of merchandise at Rod Run. It's actually one of our more productive shows as far as merchandise is concerned.
We love it when people come to town. That's one of the best things about moving to Gatlinburg. We live in a beautiful place that people want to visit, and that's great. And I absolutely loved hearing the net positive talk from the Gino's owner. I agree with this take. We love it when people come to town and understand how the tourism dollar benefits our infrastructure, schools, and other directives. Another issue the Rod Runs have faced of late is the newly enforced advertising law. We aren't going to go in depth on that here, as we've covered this at length in other videos. Links will be found in the description.
In the past year, 2 laws have been put in place to address issues at the car show and everything that spills over. One banning car sales on the parkway, and another banning squatted cars and trucks.
And now finally we've saved what could be the most impactful elements of this story for last. Check this.
The city has contracts completed for the event to happen at the LeConte Center in the spring and the fall of 2025. In 2026, the city manager will decide whether or not to renew the contract for the car show with the LeConte Center.
Yes, you heard that correctly. In 2026, the contract between the City of Pigeon Forge and the LeConte Center concerning the Pigeon Forge Rod Run will end. What that means is they can renegotiate the terms, or they can put it to an end for good. Hopefully by the time 2026 and the new contract rolls around, some of the issues that the Rod Run is currently facing will be resolved. Speaking personally here, I do not want to see the Rod Runs end. Speaking of resolving some issues, this next bit of information could do just that. And for those of you that are not big fans of the big jacked up truck, Smoky Mountain Truck Fest, being on the same weekend as Rod Run, you're going to be happy too. Because directly following this year's Truck Fest, their official Instagram page announced a new schedule for the 2025 event. And it will be September 26th and 27th of 2025. So some of you may be happy to know that next fall, the Truck Fest and Rod Run will be happening on different weekends. So now when you come to the 2024 Fall Rod Run, there won't be a bunch of big trucks obstructing your view from throwing beer bottles and yelling obscenities to whoever you choose to. Just like the good old days. No, I'm playing. In conclusion, I just want to thank you guys for tuning into this content. And I really do hope that the City of Pigeon Forge, the Pigeon Forge Rod Run, and whatever other entities are sitting at that table find some sort of resolution to the issues that are going on. We are a family that loves Jeep Invasion. We love the Rod Run. We love the big trucks. We love the energy that they bring to the area when they come. I think it's also important to note that the Pigeon Forge Rod Run is actually an event that takes place at the LeConte Center, just as the Smoky Mountain Truck Fest is an event that takes place at the Sevierville Convention Center. What takes place out on the parkway isn't the responsibility of either of these sanctioned events. As for me and mine, we're grateful for what the car shows bring to this area. We're grateful for people coming to the area and supporting our local businesses. One last thing before we go, head on down to the description of this video where you'll find a link for allaboutthesmokies.com. That is our website. It's a comprehensive resource guide for the area, for vacationing in the area. On the site, you'll find information about where to eat, where to stay, what to do. You'll also find our coupon page, which is sponsored by the absolute authority for Smoky Mountain coupons, Best Red Guide. I remember traveling to the Smokies when I was a kid, and one of the first and most exciting stops we made was the brochure rack, where I would always pick up a Best Red Guide and flip through there in the backseat of the car. And now in 2024, that childhood magic can be found right here on our website, allaboutthesmokies.com. A huge thank you to Best Red Guide for sponsoring our coupon page, and another thank you to you guys for tuning in. As always, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
If you made it this far, like if you liked it, comment if you're a fan, subscribe if you're feeling it. If not, that's okay too.
Wow.